Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gabi. If you didn't know, now you know.
It's your boy Justin.
Welcome to Vlogmas Day 17. I feel like it's just like an annual thing at this point that at some point in Vlogmas, we're doing a Q&A. And we learned very quickly last year that we will never do it with a gingerbread house again because that just never went well. And we decided that we're just scratching that from any Vlogmas from here on out. So instead, we are making cookies today. And we actually have like company coming in, so I feel like we'll have like cute little Christmas cookies. We got a cute little Christmas plate to put them on, even though this is really small and it might fit like 3 cookies, but it's the thought that counts. And we're not making them homemade though, because that's just, we don't bake very much here, so like even if we got all the ingredients,
So you
it would
bought
go to waste.
3 different packs.
Yeah.
Sugar cookies, chocolate chip, and other chocolate chip. So variety.
We got lots of options. We got all of our cookie cutters here. And then I asked over on my Instagram to either just ask us questions or ask questions that you're too scared to ask your boyfriend. That mine is an open book and we'll answer just about anything, so.
For sure. Honestly and truthfully. So I'm excited to see what some of these questions are looking like.
Alright, well I guess I'll get the questions up. Do you want to start opening everything up? And then
For sure.
we don't have a rolling pin. I feel like we say that every year in Vlogmas when we try to make cookies that we need one. But
I think it's going to be a little bit easier since they're already kind of cut up, so all we have to do is smush them down and kind of put the...
These are not in like any order at all. I literally just screenshotted as I went down. So first one, did you have to train Justin to take your pictures? My boyfriend can't take them for the life of him.
Most definitely.
But
I think I had to really understand what angles you like the most. At the beginning of the relationship, it was all you had to capture sky. Like the sky had to be in a majority of the picture.
Yeah,
So it had to be from a more down angle. Yeah, and it was just like, all right, it has to capture the sky. It has to capture, you know, everything Gabi wants. So like at first, I feel like I had to get not necessarily trained, but just like understood what she really wanted out of that picture. So
you also though, like you just get it, like you know.
Well, yeah, I just understand what looks good for sure. So like that's what I'm saying. But like small adjustments into like maybe angle, but not really like, oh, like okay, I'm not just gonna take a picture like this and be like, you know. Like,
I mean, and you know my good side, you know.
For sure.
Just like all those little things, I guess you like somewhat had to learn, but I do feel like he was just a little bit ahead of the game when it comes to a normal boyfriend because.
But taking a picture really isn't hard. That's what I like can't understand.
But I also appreciate that like you know that it's not just going to be a take 2 pictures and we're done kind of thing. So like you know that it's going to be a little bit. You're going to keep clicking. Photos. So you're not just like, oh yeah, it looks good. Okay. Like you definitely take time to make it what you know that I would want. And
for sure, like, and as time has gone on, like, it's pretty much like, if anything, I tell her what I think will be better now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just...
He's, like, really good behind the camera with, like, creative directing and ideas and everything, so, like, I'm very thankful for that. Next one. What's the most unattractive and attractive thing a girl can do? I feel like it's such a broad, because, like...
It's tough.
There's so many things you could say.
I mean, I think ultimately, at the end of the day, every guy wants a female in their life to hold it down in every which way possible. So, like... For many guys, it's going to be so different, but like just having their back no matter what and just like supporting them. Like I know like obviously we're kind of a handful to deal with, but also too you guys are a handful to deal with. So I think ultimately like just hold them down, you know, like it really doesn't take much to not necessarily please a guy, but like, you know, do things for a guy. I think we're a lot more simple and a lot less complicated. So you hold down your guy and it's just like he'll give you the world honestly, because that's what we want to do anyway. So, you know.
Okay, so what's the most unattractive thing a girl can do?
The most unattractive thing a girl can do, be petty. It's just like, or like, just like, not be understanding of certain things. You know, maybe just like, not let their man do what their man wants because they just feel like they need to be selfish and like, you know, take all the time to themselves and whatnot. Like, don't allow your boyfriend's life and other relationships other than yours be affected by the relationship you guys are in. Like there's so much time in a day to and so much time, in life to make all these things happen. So like I just don't feel like there should be ever a time where like those boundaries get crossed.
We should have gotten out.
I'm sorry,
like,
but this is like a star, like that thing is star.
How'd you get it off the thing? Because that's what I felt like I was gonna struggle with.
No, I literally just picked that up.
How? The sugar cookie is really.
So Gabi no longer has a tray.
This is hard. Is yours not? The sugar cookie is really sticky.
For sure, and like honestly, I think yours isn't as thick. Like yours is like a super thin layer, so like I feel.
Okay, so make them thicker. I just feel like when you make them thicker, they expand more and they won't hold their shape as much. That's what I was worried about. Your hands are a little less messy. Can you get out a cookie sheet?
And mine away.
Yeah, so we just put them down. This one was asked 1,000,001 times, so I just screenshotted the one that kind of had it all combined. But what's your time frame for engagement, marriage, kids, etc.?
Since we've been dating now for over 2.5 years, the time frame for an engagement is going to be a lot sooner than I even think. So I kind of need to
the ball rolling.
Get the ball moving when it comes to that. Luckily, Gabi is very expressive about the type of ring that she wants. Yeah. So I really do now have a good idea of what route to kind of start taking. But she does need to come with me the first time just to make sure it's everything she really wants, because there's not going to be a single doubt or second guess in my head about starting that process and getting that ball moving. And then once the engagement happens, we'll probably put a year in between, just so we can really plan everything.
I feel like after the engagement, we'll probably start planning right away, but like, it takes literally that long to plan a wedding. We don't want a huge wedding. I was just gonna say that,
it's not gonna take too much planning because we're very easygoing. Yeah. Very easygoing, So, and then once we get married, I'm probably gonna do what I gotta do on the honeymoon and get that family started. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we're like. Most people want like a long engagement and then they want to be married forever and then start like the kids journey.
It's supposed to be a snowman, but it doesn't look like one.
It's the thought that counts.
For sure.
And it's okay because it probably will taste really good.
I can't wait. Actually, the cookie dough tastes amazing.
Probably looked really good. But yeah, we are just kind of like appreciating the time we have together now as like only us two. Like we already live together. We already kind of made those like big changes. So like getting engaged and getting married really isn't going to change much of anything for us. So that's why it's like once that happens, it'll probably just be like.
And we have a lot more traveling to do. We have so many things that we want to get done prior to all of that, because once you do decide to like really switch gears and like let that become the main focus, then unfortunately everything else kind of just goes.
And not that like we still really want to be, because as kids we never really traveled much with our families, so like we definitely want our kids to experience that a lot.
Absolutely.
But just like the trips that we want to do, just us two. How are you so good at this? Why can't I get any of these off the cutting board?
I think I'm pushing them down too much. So, like, watch.
Guys, I'm like really bad at this right now.
I take two. We were a lot better at making the gingerbread houses, so like, I'll give you that credit. Okay. I just was absolute dog water at it, so like.
I thought a present would be easy. Is it just going too thin?
Let's try it, right?
So that's pretty much the answer.
Timeline,
I will go with him ring shopping for the first time. And then I still want, like, when the engagement happens, I want that to be a complete surprise. And I feel like it will be, because, like, I'll never know what's actually coming.
It'll be fairly easy to set it up.
I was just going to say, you could do so many things where I'm like, oh, you want to just go take... Like, I could probably plan the whole thing out and have no idea. I would pick out an outfit, I would do all these things, and I would think I was just getting pictures for, like, Instagram or something. And then it would turn out to be my engagement, and I would have absolutely no idea. So it's not going to be hard to surprise me.
I think the hardest thing would have been, like, because at first you never liked getting your nails done. So,
yeah.
like, that would have been the hardest thing, because that would have been, like, a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
Hey, like, oh, Lexi, I need you to, make sure Gabi has her nails done.
Okay, but now get it off the thing. Yeah, but now I get my nails done all the time, so it won't be hard. And I ask you every single time, pretty much, like, oh, which of these do you think I should do? So I feel like you'll have such an easy time to be like, oh, get the simple ones, like... You could so easily sway my decision without me having any idea.
So I think was my biggest headache at first, but now
it's gonna be easy.
I really have no headaches at all.
Okay, next question. Do you think if you got together earlier, your relationship would be as strong and healthy as now?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Actually.
You always think that is really good.
That's a really good question.
I think no, just because like when we first started things, if you guys don't know our whole story, we met in 2015. he didn't live here yet. Then he moved down the next year, but I was already in a relationship, which wasn't a great relationship at all. And then I was single for a little bit. We kind of started hanging out a little bit. He tried to kiss me. I rejected him. I just like, I'm not the kind of girl that's just gonna like, you know, I don't just like go into something if I'm not like ready or my feelings weren't there. And I just literally just went through a breakup, so I just like was not ready. I knew it was gonna make everything so complicated, and I honestly just like wasn't in the mental capacity to deal with that at the moment.
So basically what she's trying to say is it was stemming from her end, so therefore she doesn't really think that things would have been the same. But then I look at it like I kind of always knew that like the route that not that we would end up together, but like, I always knew the route it would take if we ended up together. Like I knew what the outcome was gonna be. So like to me, it was just a matter of time, or when it finally happened. Not, oh, if it would have happened earlier, maybe you know things would have been a little bit different, or like who knows? We probably would have been. Honestly, if we were together since 2018, we probably would have been married by now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary, but
it's crazy.
So everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, so it was just only a matter of time, and like the timing.
I feel like
was
it was
a very
when it happened.
for you for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I was.
But either way, I feel like it was better this time around than had we really committed 2018.
Yeah.
How'd you know she was the one?
Honestly, it all started back in 2015 when I was young and in high school, and I kind of just like saw her and I was just like who's this cute little blonde? I guess like you could say I have a thing for blondes. But I don't know. I really like once I really started to get to know her, besides just like her initial look, and I got to know her more than just like friends in a sense, or like we grew a better friendship at first, and then kind of just loved the person she was, and then like could only imagine what she was going to be like in a relationship, and like everything I've ever thought she really proved herself to be. So it really didn't take much convincing or anything like that. Like it's just so funny. Like even when we first got together, like I had people like DM me saying like, "Oh my god, I know you wanted her for so long. Like I'm so happy."
People that
finally
I don't
happened.
even know.
Which is like awesome because
which
like
is just, you used to talk about me all the time, huh?
And people I used to mess with. Like that's the funny part. that's I think that's the funny part. But shout out to those people if you're watching this. But like I said, like it was just the initial, you know, look of her and wanting to get to know her was there, and that's what kind of really sparked it. And then, like I said, we became better friends. We're teammates for a while, and then once we became more than friends, like it was everything I would have hoped for. So.
Okay, this one was kind of. I don't like. No one ever asked this, so I thought it was kind of fun.
Okay.
Would you pressure your kids to go to college? I feel like we're both on the same board that like we would not pressure our kids to do anything. Like, I think when it stems from like forcefulness from the parent, it just never ends up the right way. Like, I would encourage my kids to go to college though, only because I think the experience of college, even if it's only a year, even if it's a few months, a semester. Like I know sometimes you say like you wish you could have had it like.
Had the experience of a university.
Yeah.
But I didn't go to college. Gabi didn't go to college. So that's actually really funny. You would think that like, oh, since she went, she'd be, oh, kids need to go to college. With me, it's more or less like, if you have something else set up in your life at the time that you can really pursue, benefit from, and make something out of yourself, then great, go for it. Like I'm not gonna ever tell you need to do something, need to be this way, whatever the case may be. If they don't have anything going for them, and they just really don't understand, it's okay.
Okay.
And if they don't have anything really going for them, then it's like, why not go to college? Like, test the waters. But, like,
I think, though,
who knows
like,
what's going to happen in
my college, even though, like, I got my degree, I don't necessarily use it. It feels really good knowing I have a degree just in case, like, whatever happened and I really needed to get a job. Like, I know I have a really well-paying job where I could support the family with. Like, knowing I have that, like, definitely gives me a sense of security, especially with how hit or miss my job is. Like, it's not a set salary I get. So that feels good. And then also just, like, honestly, college changed me so much as a person. Like, I'm so thankful for that time in my life and just really, like, having to be independent, like, the time management, even just, like, the mental breakdowns and the stress I went through. Like, I feel like it just...
It makes you.
Was, yeah, like, I looking back on it, I'm so thankful for that time. I wish I would have experienced, like, the college lifestyle a little bit more, and that's where I feel like I would just, like, recommend. This does not look like a tree. This is getting worse.
Okay, how about no more sugar cookies? I think we're good on that. Let's do one more chocolate chip. We'll make one more tree. Since there's 2 stars already, a present, snowman, gingerbread, snow cone. Let's just do one more tree, and then we'll put those in the oven. And then we'll finish answering these questions. If forever. And then that way we don't have to use any more of that. Let's just use this.
Okay.
Honestly, maybe do...
A candy cane was really easy. Can I do a candy cane? Oh, I should do a striped candy cane. I'm gonna do it.
Perfect.
Next question. How do you guys talk about big adult things like finances, moving, etc.? I have a hard time with this. We, like this I feel like comes really easy to us, and we started having these conversations very early on.
We both want the same things.
Yeah.
When it comes to obviously getting a house, we're both sick of this apartment.
Very
and I've only
much.
been living here a lot less than Gabi.
Yeah.
So, finances, hers are hers, mine are mine.
Yeah, we're both on the same.
You know, like maybe
boat
when
with that.
kids get involved, we'll have a joint bank account, you know, that'll go to them, or like we'll put money where it needs to go, things like that. But for personal, I don't want anything to do with her, and I don't want her to have anything to do with me, you know. So that's our mentality when it comes to that, and like rightfully so. You know, she works hard for her money, I work hard for mine. So there's no need to ever really combine the two and like cross that line, because you know, like at the end of the day, like money makes the world go around, and like finances do play a big role, and I feel like in certain people's relationships. So
Yeah.
do not allow that to happen.
But how do you guys talk about it? I feel like because we were so open with it at the beginning, it was never this like taboo subject of like, oh my god, I'm scared to bring this up. Like, what if it's
Not with
something we don't agree on, or what if it sparks like
an argument. You know. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you're with that person and they're not understanding of what it is like you're trying to say to them, or you know, maybe doing life or whatever the case may be, then like, sorry to say, but like reevaluate
Right, like it's better to know those differences
early on,
as soon as you can,
because
than
yeah,
to
once
get more deep into it, and then
for sure. Lucky for us, it's
we're on
never
the
an
same
argument.
page,
It's always a
yeah.
good conversation. It's just like, bet, like what can we do better, or like, you know, hey, think about it like this, or hey, maybe let's go ahead and do that, you know. So
But yeah, regardless, I feel like it's better to have those conversations as soon as you can and figure out what you agree on, what you disagree on, and it's okay if those things are deal breakers, because they are important things. Like,
very important things. You know, it's better to learn things early on than later on, because you can make smarter, better decisions for yourself earlier on, and then things just become way too complicated in the long run. So yeah, bust that out, get it popping, and
that's
get
good.
it done.
Favorite thing about each other?
My favorite thing, looks-wise, about Gabriella, I would have to say, is her eyes. I think they're just so beautiful, and I tend to get lost in them. And then my favorite thing about you is honestly how much of an amazing girlfriend you are, and then how I think about how serious our relationship is, and honestly the next steps for us is to really consider marriage and all of that. And I just see like the type of person she is, and I know she's going to be a great mother, I know she's going to be a great wife, and I think ultimately like that's what every man wants in their life, is a female who can not only hold them down, but eventually hold down a family. And you know, we share a lot of similar values, but we have such differences that I think it's going to be really good for our kids, because that's just ultimately going to mean growth and like their decisions and you know how they're going to be. So I would definitely say just like her character, her personality, and just you know how much she loves me, and I know she'll love the family. So
Okay, the memory card was full, but don't worry, we got his full, good, cute answer on. I was worried that it cut off because that was a really good answer.
I was just like, man, like that's so
I know.
unfortunate, because that's so like
It was really good.
just genuine. Like,
My favorite thing about you physically is your perfect nose and your lips, and I hope our kids get yours, because
yours is a little wonky.
because I plan on getting a nose job, so even if they get mine, they won't look like me, so hopefully they'll just get yours. Favorite thing about you, like character-wise, is just that you will literally like give the shirt off your back for anyone that you love. You will go the extra mile with like nothing in return. It does not matter. You will literally do like anything, go to the ends of the earth for people that you love.
Most definitely. And like that's such a great way to be, but it's just also so like diminishing sometimes.
No, but like even like the way you treat your little sister, like I just already can see how you're gonna treat our kids.
I love her so much.
You might spoil them a little too much.
Baby girl, I love you. I hope you're watching this.
But yeah.
That's just how it has to be. I feel like, especially with me, like the most important people in my life just means so much to me because like, you know, like whether it's like your immediate family who like obviously was gonna be in your life regardless, and then your chosen family, like those people just like, especially my people, it's just like, I don't know, I really would give them the world, and I really wish I could give everybody the world. Just the most I can do at this point is just always be there for them and support them, and you know, really love them. So.
Now we got the cute answers out of the way. What's something that annoys you about the other person, but you love them for it anyways?
Wow. So many things come to mind.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. That annoys me the most.
I mean, my answer would just be that like little annoying things just set you off so much, and I try to like I wish you could have my mindset on things like traffic. Like it happens. We live in Miami. We're gonna sit in it. Like I could spend the time just getting frustrated and annoyed about it, or I just deal with it. And like that is something that fires him up so much. But like, there's really nothing I can do about it. I know that you're just gonna get mad when you're sitting in traffic all the time. I feel like that's probably like the main thing. Like little things like that just set you off.
Huh.
Nothing, right? I'm perfect. Can't think of one answer.
So I think one thing that like annoys me, and like might be a little frustrating is just like, Gabi isn't the most talkative person, and like when it comes to my family and like my friends and like everyone close to me, like I've always grown up with like just such a, you know,
Outgoing,
affectionate, like outgoing, you know, very loud, just family and friends, and like every time we see each other, you know, it's just like hugs, and you know, we talk great conversation and just like catch up, and like it's just always been like that. So like it like just like I said, it's not even like that it's annoying that Gabi really doesn't speak as often.
It's just like misunderstood, I feel like.
Yes, for sure. And like that, it's just like,
it's
and of course I'm gonna get asked those questions, and it's like, hey, like, is everything okay with Gabi? I'm like, yeah, like, and then I've really come to understand that like obviously it was like her upbringing and like how she is with her family or isn't how she is with her family, you know, and like it's just different. Like everybody's different, and like that's what I've come to understand and accept. So that's why maybe it doesn't annoy me as much anymore. But like it was just a little frustrating. Like it's just like, girl, like just speak, just talk. Like I don't care if you don't know what to say or how to say it or why you're even saying it. Just, you know, give a little bit more. And I think we talked about that. And like I feel like it's something that she definitely wants to work on. But honestly, everything's pretty much easygoing. It really is. And like, you know, we have our days and our times, but that's life. I don't know what else to say about it.
Yeah. No, the amount of times I've heard growing up, like, oh, for someone named Gabi, you're not very talkative. Like, I don't know why my parents named me Gabi, because that was just me always. Like, I'm just quiet. Like, when I'm in a room of people,
and it gets
just sit and observe.
Honestly, yeah. Like, and that's what I told everybody too. Like, she's very like she listens.
If I have something to say, I'll say it. And like, I'm listening to every conversation. I'm just not the type of person that just puts my 2 cents in when it's either not wanted or not necessary.
Yeah.
So like, I really don't speak unless either one, spoken to, or two, like I really have something that will benefit the conversation. Other than that, I just sit and listen, and that's just me.
How she is.
Yeah. How to ask the "what are we" question. Do you remember? Okay, so like when we first had our first kiss in the Publix parking lot, we were both just kind of like I feel like we need to try this out, but like I don't really think we are looking for a relationship right now, kind of vibe. And normally, you know, I would give you the advice, like, if someone says that, like, believe them and take it. Like, don't try to, like, force more and then get yourself, like, attached and heartbroken when they really said they weren't looking for a relationship. However, I knew we were kind of both lying. Not necessarily new, but, like, just when we started hanging out and felt those things, like,
actions will always speak louder than words, in the sense that, like, of course you can sit there and tell each other one thing, but I feel like if your heart truly wants that other person, like, you're going to start finding yourself doing things for them and being in certain situations that like you, I guess, didn't think would happen as quickly as they did, and you know, like you kind of just like roll with the punches, go with the flow, and like, you know, if it ends up working out, then great. But like ultimately, I feel like you just feel that gravitational pull towards each other, and like just, you know, listen to your heart, really understand what's going on in your mind, and like ultimately, like your gut will probably lead you in the right direction. You know, so like just take all 3 of those into account and like see what happens out of it.
Yeah, I remember very vividly, actually. I feel like it was like 2 weeks in of us hanging out, and I just looked at you and I was like, remember 2 weeks ago when you said you didn't want a relationship, and now like...
I still don't want a relationship with everybody, so I'm just putting that in there.
No, I was confident. I was like, I know this man is in love with me. Like, I was like, that was all a lie. Like, you are head over heels right now. And then that was pretty much how I said it.
Well, I'm sitting here doing a video for her channel in Christmas pajamas, so yes, I guess I could consider myself head over heels.
If you guys get into arguments, how do you deal with it instead of making it bigger? I feel like this is something that we really had to learn with each other because, like he said, we come from very different backgrounds. Like, he comes from New York where that's just a thing. Like, they raise their voice at each other. They just are stubborn. You're hot-headed. Like, that is just New York. Like, that's literally how you are. It's not that it's, like, a bad family dynamic because, like, everyone in your family is used to that and that's how you guys are. Where, like, I'm very soft-spoken, go with the flow, like, try not to let things bother me, not confrontational. So we really had to learn how to diffuse, like, disagreements with each other, I feel like, early on.
I think, like, ultimately, like, when we do get into an argument and stuff, like, it's good to, like, walk away from it, like, give each other that space, and then, like, revisit it, just because, like, whenever both of you are heated in that moment, it's nothing's ever going to get solved, and it's just, like, great, we're going to keep running around in circles, and I'm just going to get more aggravated. So it's more or less, like I said, like, just create that separation, that distance, just for a short amount of time, and then, like, you know, calming down, collecting your thoughts, understanding what the problem really was, and then going back and finding a solution for it. So.
No, I feel like we've both gotten really good about, like, apologizing for whoever, not necessarily, like, started it, but, like, what really was, like, the root of it.
Like,
yeah.
It's just, like, sometimes it's really hard to see, especially when you get into a specific mindset. It's really hard to see things clearly because, like, at the end of the day, like, you just want to be right, or, like,
right, like, you only see your way because that's how you want to feel.
Yeah. And it's just, like, at the end of the day, like, you know, everybody goes through the same bullshit, and I think everybody's really just trying to live their life, you know, together, so it's tough, but something that I feel like you always have to deal with.
And you really just have to, like, you really just have to learn how to argue, honestly, like, you really do. This one, are you posting another video for house hunting? Yeah, eventually. I'm gonna be honest, I got so overwhelmed and stressed with the process that, like, I'm still looking at houses as they come on the market, but, like, I was just not, with everything, we have had such a busy, like, last few months with everything going on. There was, like, no time. I would find a house and then we'd be out of town, so I couldn't even go tour the house, and then we would be sad when the house was gone by the time we got back, and it was just, like, such a hard process for what was going on in our lives that, like, I kind of put it on the back burner. I'm still looking at houses as they come up, so if there is one that I'm like, that's the house, like, we'll go and see. But, like, at first, with the first video, like, we were really into it for a while because we were home for a while. It was, like, perfect timing. And then I was just, like, kind of discouraged and overwhelmed, and I just knew that it was better if I just, like, took a step back. And then probably, honestly, after the holidays come January, I feel like we'll probably go into it again, like, full force.
We have no choice. Like, we're definitely not planning on renewing this lease because we are just so over it.
We are so outgrown of this apartment.
But at the same time, you really can't rush a house. Like, I think ultimately, like, that's one of the main deciding factors too. It's like, yeah, we might come across a house that's a great price, but in a bad location. You know what I'm saying? We could fix a house, but we can't fix the location. Or we'll find it in a great location, but then there's just factors that play into it that make us not love it, or, you know,
like,
whatever.
Things that can't even just be, like, remodeled.
Cosmetically done to the house. So it's frustrating, and I'm pretty sure, like, if you yourself and significant other have been going through the process, you really feel exactly what we're talking about because of how annoying it is. But, you know, like I said, when the time is right, I feel like it'll really flow through and get it done. But until then, like, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, this is a lot. Okay, last question. This one's just fun. Would you ask your boyfriend to get your name or anything related to you tattooed on him? I'm not scared to ask mine. I'm just curious to hear others' answers.
Okay, so, like, it's really... This is a really interesting topic.
Okay, first of all, I would never want you to get my name tattooed.
Well, yes, for sure. Like, a name...
I just think it's, like... It's not that ugly.
Not that it's, like... Well, no, I think it's, like, a little tacky. Because, like,
yes,
unfortunately, like, as much as you love that person in that moment of you getting the tattoo and you're thinking you're making the right decision, you truly do not know what's going to happen in the future. Therefore, that might be one of the biggest mistakes and regrets you could possibly make.
But even if we are together forever and you just have, like, Gabi tattooed on you.
Well, for sure. It's kind of, exactly.
Like
that's
that.
where it falls under, like, the tacky. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, whatever. Like, I don't know. If you incorporate it in a cool way, I guess it might be understandable and never, like, accepted, if I'm being honest.
Oh.
Wow.
Are they done? Guys.
Well, yeah, these cookies. Okay, so like the shape was pretty decent on the pan. When you see these things come out, yeah, you're gonna just think we made regular cookies.
Oh no.
But okay, so back to the tattoo thing. I really think I've already talked to her about this, right? Like, I talked about like, oh, what if I put like a G on me? You know what I'm saying? Like, I could also look at it like Gonzalez or Gangsta or different meanings to it, right? So that really would like have no significance and or mean other things that wouldn't be specifically to her. One thing that I thought would be cool is though, because I am obsessed with her eyes as much as I am, to get her eye tatted on me.
And that's so cool.
And I think that would be cool because like obviously I could get it shaded the bright color blue if I wanted to, and like the shape and everything, it would be her specific eye design on me. So I'm like, that may be something. And I feel like honestly, like everyone has like, you know, like either like a female, like a pharaoh, or like, you know, something like an eye on them or whatever the case would be. So like if we were to ever split, I think it'd still be a cool design, even knowing it is her eye. But like I think that's just like still a cool tat to have. So like that could be the only possibility. Nothing else will ever happen though.
Well, I feel like when it comes to like either like a marriage date or kids or anything like that.
Though. But even still, marriage date is a little wonky.
Like,
I would do
but
kids
something
for sure,
meaningful,
but
something meaningful that we would have that like we'd share. But we would never just get each other's names.
Especially like specifically like that. Like I just no.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I
not
don't.
a fan of that. So that was a really good try. I mean, that one looks like a candy cane. That's a really, really chunky snowman.
No, these are not at all. I'm like, sorry to tell you, but like, yeah,
It did not work. These ones did not either. Completely lost their shape. But you know, we had fun while doing it.
For sure. Appreciate
At least
you guys.
the Q&A portion was good. The cookies, not so much. We'll perfect them. Hopefully next year we'll figure it out and how to make them keep their shape.
We'll do
I
a
feel
trial
like
run prior.
I feel like also if we use like homemade dough and like really like did the things, it would probably be better. But you live and you learn. So
For sure.
hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for asking the questions. Thanks for watching.
Appreciate you guys.
Make sure you give it a big like, comment down below, subscribe to your post notifications on, all that, and I'll see you in the next video.